Welcome everyone, it's Jay Wolf Tech Broadcast here. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Corsair 800D. And a little intro here, the Corsair 800D is a pretty old case. It's been around for a while. It was actually Corsair's first introduction into the case market. And as you can see by just the general look of it, it's a very large case. It is a full tower. It was one of the first cases, I believe, out that can handle just about any motherboard. Whether it be, the extended EX motherboards that are a little bit longer, or ATX, or you could throw micro ATX. I don't see why you would do that, but you could do that. And I've actually had this case for over a year now, and I've had two builds in it. I've had a Z77 chipset build, and then I've also currently have the X79 chipset build. And in some of my previous videos, you might have noticed that I was actually going to switch to a smaller case. But there's a few things that I ran into, and one is that I wasn't really able. There's a lot more hardware that I'm going to actually put in this case. I'd still like to get a sound card. I do want to get a video capture card so I can do some maybe some live streaming in the future, and just do some maybe some live gameplay. That would be something that I might be interested in doing on the side, here and there, along with my reviews, broadcast unboxings, weekly events. Calendar. So that's just a little history of my time with the actual case. As you know previously, I'm a huge Corsair fan, especially with their cases. I have the 550D. It's an excellent case. I've seen some of their 600 series cases. Excellent. Even the 200R, which is their value case, is still a great case. I'd really like to see them make a small case, like an ITX or a micro ATX case. Something that's a little smaller, like maybe the Silverstone TG08-E, or Cooler Master has a smaller case too, in the ITX form factor that's extremely cheap, but it also is an extremely well-built machine. But anyways, we'll get back to this, and I'm just going to go over some of the features with it, and then I'm just going to get into my review and some of my personal impressions of the case and how I've actually went about using it for the past little over a year now. And so let's jump in and actually just see what this case has to offer. So taking a look at the front of the case here, the first thing I would like to mention about the build quality is this is an all metal case. There's almost no plastic that you can tell, not really that you can find on the whole case. It's metal, and it has a brushed aluminum on the front here. Sorry it's a little dirty. I took everything out just to clean it and put stuff back in. But some of the features it has here, it has your power switch, then it has your LED light indicator. And it's just got a push button here to get to your I/O ports. You have two USB 2.0, two USB 3.0, headphone, microphone, an eSATA. Or no, that's FireWire, sorry. And then you got your reset. I think it's a really nice feature to have the reset here, considering there's no chances you might accidentally press it. Some cases put it right by the power supply, and that's something I don't really like from my personal experience. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5¼ inch drive bays. This allows for any expandability you might have. Most cases nowadays aren't really going with the 5. They're really cutting it down to 1 or 2 because you don't need that many. This is the only DVD drive I use, and I swap it out in and everywhere. I do have a card reader installed here, and that's mainly for my cameras. Some of them have some SD cards, so that's easy access there. And if we get down to the bottom here, this is where you have your 4 5¼ inch hot swap bays. And it's got a nice panel here that you just open up. Really nice quality. As you can see, I've been cleaning this out, and I didn't do a very good job here because there's still dust everywhere. But it actually has your 5¼ inch bays where you can just swap things in and out. As you can see there, it's got your nice connections. That's for the regular 3.5 inch drive, and I believe down here is a smaller. It does have mounts for your regular 2.5 inch, like an SSD drive. Really like that. They're really easy to swap in and out. This is a SSD I actually use in. I use it for some of my video files that I've uploaded to YouTube, and sometimes I do swap that in and out with another rig. And that's the basic front. It's excellent quality, nice brushed metal here. And I've moved this case around a decent bit, and it really hasn't got dinged up or scratched up. There's a few scratches here or there, but you can't really tell. Excellent build quality, especially with the front. You got your Corsair logo down here. Okay, so this is the actual top of the case, and as you can see here, it has these 3 rivets. I don't really know what the point of that is. I do sometimes store things up there, maybe a pen, pencil, but I really don't see the need in that. Maybe it's for looks, I don't know. And then you have your huge exhaust here that you can use. This case is perfect for mounting a Corsair H100. And it's got 3 spots for 120mm fans. These are 120, they don't support 140. Like most newer cases out there, they're just 140 design. And that's it for the top. So as you can see here on the right side of the case, it has an extremely large window. I'm going to swing over to this side, but it has an extremely large window. And it has a really nice all aluminum or metal side here with a nice window. It's pretty good quality too. I've actually dropped this a few times and haven't had any issues with it breaking. And as you can see here, we'll flip around and do the back real quick before I actually get into that. Okay, so this is just a shot. Make sure it's in view here. There we go. This is a shot of the back side of the case. As you can see, the only negative, and this is something you can get an adapter for, but for your USB 3.0, it does have pass-throughs instead of connecting directly to the motherboard. It's not a big issue. That's something we can actually fix with just buying a little adapter. And then you just have a kind of an exhaust here, just a little bit of exhaust there. You have a spot for 120 or 140mm fan. It does come with a 140mm fan already pre-installed. And then you have your motherboard I/O shield cutout. And then you have, I believe it's 8 or any other things you might be running there. Maybe you're running an adapter card or anything like that. And then you just have your mount for your power supply down here. I will mention it has an extremely large dust filter for the bottom of your power supply. It is rather large and it does an extremely good job. I've had to clean this out multiple times, so it's good quality. Nothing seems to be in too bad a shape there. And so now let's get back here to the right of the case. But that kind of goes over the back, and to actually open this, it actually has a push button design where you just push this to open it right up. And I do currently have a system build in here. Like I said, I was previously going to switch to a different case, but I actually chose to stay with this one mainly because it's going to be able to hold everything that I want in the future. I was adding up everything that I'm going to be adding probably in the next couple years, and I decided to go with this. It's a pretty roomy design. It's basically broken down into 2 sections. You have your bottom section down here for your power supply. So, like I said, it's got this bottom section down here for your power supply, and it does have support where you can add a radiator down here if you would like. There's not going to be a whole lot of room here with the power supply mounted, but you could add a smaller radiator down there if you'd like. And one thing that I have actually done before is I've actually went ahead and mounted a fan down here to help push some air up. Like I said, there's no front fans, so if you're cooling with air, you really have to pay attention to where your fans are located at. And you also have a 120mm fan here that's pre-included. Yeah, but you have to take that off. I'm not going to take it off right now because I got some LED lights kind of run up through there. But you do have that, and then you got this nice cover here that covers all your hot swap bay connectors, so you don't have to look at those wires. No SATA or power cables that you have to see. And then as you can see, this is a standard ATX motherboard. Sorry for jumping in the view again. I'm just switching sides here. Might zoom in here a little bit to get you a better view here, but this is a standard ATX motherboard. And as you can see, it has rubber grommets everywhere, which make it extremely easy to do a clean build here. As you can see from the shot here, it's an extremely clean build. Besides the Corsair H100, which kind of does have a lot of wires that you kind of have to... There's no real easy way to wire those. But that's not a big deal. And like you said, you see the Corsair H100 fan cooler's up there at the top. It can't support longer than this. This is a smaller one that we have here. And as you can see, there's plenty of room for anything you'd like. Like I said, I Samsung, their SSDs are great, especially with looks, so I'm try to mount one right there. And I believe I have 4 SSDs in here, and also just one regular 3.5-inch drive, so there's plenty of room for your drives. And if we look here on the right, you can see it actually does have a toolless design for your 5.25-inch drive base. So you just pop them in, slide them out. It's a really simple design there. You do have the 140mm fan right here that comes pre-included with the system. It's a pretty nice fan. It's not too loud. There's not a whole lot going on there. So I really like that. Overall, just going over the internal guts of this system easily can handle anything you throw at it. You can put more in here than many of the other cases out there. You do have the NZXT Switch 810, which I've actually spent some time with, but it's a nice case, and it is a little bit larger, I believe, on the inside than this, but this case hands down has better build quality than that. Easily, this is one of the best build quality. This and the Corsair 550D, which I also previously have for my server. Hands down, best build quality out of any case that I've ever actually touched or handled. And for it being such a large case, it really it shows a lot. It shows a lot of what Corsair is really wanting to do with their cases. And that's basically it. You do have some spots down here where you can add, it looks like it comes with little sleds. You could probably add 4 or 5. I would take the SSD out, but it's already hooked up. You could probably add 4 or 5 SSDs down there. And like I said, you can mount them everywhere. And I'll show you once we get to the back some more mounting spots for any hard drives or SSDs you might choose. So now that we've seen this, let's actually jump around to the back and take a look at the actual back of the case. So I've removed the panel on the back of this case just for time purposes here. And it is going to be a little messy. I haven't done a lot with the cable management yet. And because I don't really care. I try to remember where all the cables went and just go from there. I'm not too picky about things. But as you can see from the back of it, there's tons of room to manage your cables. The only real big cable you have to worry about is the 24-pin motherboard connector. That's the only one that really prevents the side panel from closing. But some few things to take away from this. You got this huge spot over here to where you can put many of your wires. Like I said, I have an SSD mounted right there. It's another Samsung. Like I said, this is just a good spot to where you can do all your cable management. There's plenty of room. Like I said, I even have an SSD mounted here. Just for pure convenience. I was going to throw it down there, but I was running out of spots to put my my power connectors for it. The SATA connectors aren't any problem, but I was running out of some issues there. So you can just mount them there. There's tons of stuff you can do like that really makes this case. So everything in here is all black. I mean, the power connector and stuff, that's the power supply, not that. But everything is an all black design, so you can go with any type of design you might choose. I'd go with a blue theme, which is showcased by the blue LED lights. So some things I've noticed, and to just conclude on my Corsair 800D review, is some of the pros of this case that I've found in the years that I've had it, is that it's easy to build in. Doesn't matter what you're doing. It has tons of room for customization and expandability. It's almost hard to fit all your components in this case. There's really a lot of room for just about anything you can throw at it. It's an all-metal design, so it is all metal, so you don't have to worry about things breaking here or there. Like I said, I've moved this case around a lot. I've done a couple builds in it. Everything still looks great. It can get dusty at times, but that's usually every 3 or 4 months. I actually take everything out, clean it out, and then just put it all back in. Besides the motherboard, and I don't really mess with that stuff too much. But anyways, it's excellent build quality, excellent construction. Hands down there, you notice that when you first pick it up because it is a very heavy case, which is one of its negatives that we'll get into. It is an all black design, so it allows you to customize it how you'd like. It's excellent for water cooling. That's probably the big pro on this case, is that it's really excellent for... you can cool this with air, no problem. I personally cool with air just because it's a little cheaper. I do have a water cooler on my CPU there, but that's a it's a Corsair Hydro Series H100 water cooler, so that's something that, you know, it's not your custom water cooling like most people do. I don't want to mess with water cooling, but you can cool it with air or water cooling, whatever you decide. It has a nice, huge side panel window, which we'll throw up right here, which allows you to see the inside of your components, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Like I said, plenty of room for expandability. It's all black, which I like. Some people might not like that, but I do. It's got Corsair quality, which if you've ever dealt with their customer service, it's excellent. I've had great experiences with that. And it just has plenty of room for all your components. Great for cooling, great for water or air cooling. That's some of the big pluses. Some of the few minuses of this case is that it is heavy. It is very heavy and very big, so make sure you have plenty of room for it. With everything right now going to a smaller form factor, that's the only issue that I ran into, but if you're a power user and you're really pushing your system a lot and you have a lot of, if you just have one graphics card and you're not really doing a whole lot of processing or anything like that, you're probably not going to have any problems. But if you have, a graphics card, a sound card, a media cache card, if you have a RAID card, you can throw a RAID card in here. If you have all that stuff stacked up, you're going to need plenty of room for it. Like I said, you got plenty of room for your drive bays and all that, so you just have to see what you're actually going to use it for. But that is one negative, is that it is a very large case. And a few other things about it. That's really it for the negatives. I wish there was a little bit better design for mounting hard drives and SSDs. I'm not a big hot swap fan. I personally tend to just like to connect them total. I prefer maybe the Corsair 550D or the Fractal Design, the R4, or the R3. They all have the hard drive design where you just kind of pull them out. I prefer that a little better, but this overall is excellent. It can get dusty. That's one negative, is that I do find myself cleaning it out usually once a week, just going in and wiping things down. It can get some dust in it, which is odd considering there's no front intakes. You're getting most of your air here from the bottom, which not a whole lot of dust. And that's basically it for my pros and cons of the case. Like I said, I've had this for a few years now. It's still a pretty expensive case. Anywhere between that $225 and $300, depending on what the market's projecting it at this time. I still think for a large case, it's still one of my favorites. Like I said, I've had some other large cases that I've actually spent some time with and done some builds in, and I personally love this one better than anything. So that's been my review on the Corsair 800D. If you'd like to see any more unboxings, reviews, or any other tech broadcasts or build guides, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.